वासुदेवाय।
ॐ
ॐ
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
Krishna, I'll recite the shloka 3 times. After that, anyone who is interested can recite. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, Text 33. यदा रहितमात्मानं भूतेन्द्रिया गुणाशयै स्वरूपेण मयोपेतं पश्यन् स्वराज्यमृच्छति। यदा रहितमात्मानं भूतेन्द्रिया गुणाशयै स्वरूपेण मयोपेतं पश्यन् स्वराज्यमृच्छति। यदा रहितमात्मानं भूतेन्द्रिया गुणाशयै स्वरूपेण मयोपेतं पश्यन् स्वराज्यमृच्छति। हरे कृष्ण, प्लीज।
हरे कृष्णा। यदा रहितम् आत्मानं भूतेन्द्रियगुणाशयैः स्वरूपेण मयोपेतं पश्यन् स्वराज्यं रिच्छति।
यदा रहितमात्मानं भूतेन्द्रियगुणाशयो स्वरूपेण मयोपेतं पश्यन् स्वराज्यं रक्षति। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। यदा रहितम् आत्मानं भूतेन्द्रियगुणशैः स्वरूपेण मयोपेतं पश्यन् स्वराजयं गच्छति।
Anyone else?
Yada, oh, sorry, go ahead, Ma.
Go ahead.
Yada rahitam atmanam bhutandriya gunasaya svarupena mayopetam pashyam svaranjam rachati.
यादारहितमात्मानं भूतेन्द्रियगुणाशये स्वरूपेण मयोपेतं पश्यं स्वराय पृच्छति।
Okay, we go to the synonyms. Yadha, when, rahitam, freed from, atmanam, self, bhuta, material elements, indriya, material senses, guna ashaye, under the influence of the material modes of nature, swarupena, in pure existence, maya, by me, upetam, approaching, pashyan, by seeing, swarajyam, spiritual kingdom, rachati, enjoy. Translation: when you are free from the conception of gross and subtle bodies, and when your senses are free from all influences of the modes of material nature, you will realize your pure form in my association. At that time, you will be situated in pure consciousness. Purport: in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said that a person whose only desire is to render transcendental loving service to the Lord is a free person in any condition of material existence. That service attitude is the Swarupa or real form of the living entity. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also confirms this statement by declaring that the real spiritual form of the living entity is eternal servitorship to the Supreme Lord. The Mayavada school shudders at the thought of a service attitude in the living entity, not knowing that in the transcendental world, the service of the Lord is based on transcendental love. Transcendental loving service is never to be compared to the forced service of the material world. In the material world, even if one is under the conception that he is no one's servant, he is still the servant of his senses under the dictation of the material modes. Factually, no one is master here in the material world, and therefore the servants of the senses have a very bad experience of servitude. They shudder at the thought of service because they have no knowledge of the transcendental position. In transcendental loving service, the servitor is as free as the Lord. The Lord is Swarat or fully independent, and the servant is also fully independent or Swarat in the spiritual atmosphere because there is no forced service. There, the transcendental loving service is due to spontaneous love. A reflected glimpse of such service is experienced in the service of the mother unto the son, the friend's service unto the friend, or the wife's service unto the husband. These reflections of service by friends, parents, or wives are not forced, but they are due only to love. Here in this material world, however, the loving service is only a reflection. The real service or service in Swarupa is present in the transcendental world, in association with the Lord. The very same service in transcendental love can be practiced in devotion here. This verse is also applicable to the Jnani school. The enlightened Jnani, when free from all material contaminations, namely the gross and subtle bodies, together with the senses of the material modes of nature, is placed in the Supreme and is thus liberated from material bondage. The Jnanis and the devotees are actually in agreement up to the point of liberation from material contamination. But whereas the Gyanis remain pacified on the platform of simple understanding, the devotees develop further spiritual advancement in loving service. The devotees develop a spiritual individuality in their spontaneous service attitude, which is enhanced on and on up to the point of Madhurya Rasa, or transcendental loving service reciprocated between the lover and the beloved. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकं। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते सच्चिदानंद स्वामी नित्य नामने नित्यानंद प्रेष्ठ दीनभद्रे शरणम। Hare Krishna, thank you all for joining again, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak, primarily for my own purification. I seek all of your blessings and permission before I speak. Hare Krishna. The translation again: when you are free from the conception of gross and subtle bodies, and when your senses are free from all influences of the modes of material nature, you will realize your pure form in my association. At that time, you'll be situated in pure consciousness. This is a very beautiful verse, also very technical and advanced. I'm really not at all qualified to speak, but I just try to repeat whatever I've read and heard. So, Krishna is speaking to Brahma here, and Krishna is giving the different stages by which one can progress in devotional process. And Brahma has made his prayers, and Krishna is speaking. Brahma doesn't want to become contaminated by the material energies in performance of his duties. He's not saying, I don't want to do these duties. He's happy to do, Uh, so Krishna is taking him through the steps, you know, and don't worry, what you are asking is already there. Uh, uh, and anyone who is following this devotional process is already on that platform. So just follow. And he's taking him through the principles of, penance, austerity, the principles of knowledge. Uh, um, um, and we can see that uh, when one is following this, absorbed in devotional service, then Krishna is saying, then you'll see me, not only in you, but in everything in the universe. Uh, um, and you see, Krishna is doing everything. Lord is everywhere, and um, and most importantly, here he's saying that uh, you'll see the form like fire situated in the wood. So you see Krishna in everything. Doesn't matter what the wood is, but fire is there. So Krishna is there in everything. And same way one sees the soul as the same in all, and Krishna in everything. So such a beautiful verse, and Srila Prabhupada is giving such a nice detailed commentary here, giving us actually the recipe to become free from gross and subtle bodies and from these misconceptions, uh, thinking that there is some happiness in this material world. Uh, and Prabhupada is commenting here that, when a goal is very clearly defined, identified and defined, then naturally it becomes easier to reach that goal, right? You all agree? When there is a goal which is clearly identified and defined, does it become easier to reach the goal? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. But on the contrary, if the goal is not defined, then it becomes very difficult to get there. So you see in this world, many people are without direction, and some people are with direction.
Yeah.
Even if it is an awful goal, still they have a direction. They have defined and identified that goal, and they can accomplish something. So the point here is, for spiritual life to be successful, the more defined the goal is, the easier it is to get there. Yeah. So there have been surveys conducted, in this world, especially in America. People were asked, um, majority of the people accept that there is soul. But if you ask what the soul is, you'll be surprised on the range of ideas or conceptions that people have about the soul. Yeah. In one discussion of Srila Prabhupada with the cardinal of the Catholic Church in France, uh, there's a video of this dialogue also, and I think there's a transcript also available. Prabhupada was speaking to the cardinal, and Srila Prabhupada was asking him, why don't you follow the rule, thou shall not kill? Uh, Prabhupada didn't say, give up your religion and follow Krishna consciousness, follow our path. No. He just said, why don't you follow that rule, thou shall not kill? Uh, and then the cardinal responded, oh, we are not killing. And Srila Prabhupada said, you're taking life of an animal, and that is killing. And the cardinal replied, that is not killing, as animals don't have a soul. And then Prabhupada said, where is that in the Bible? So the cardinal didn't give an answer to that question. And then he started explaining the difference between man and animal is that man has a rational faculty, and animals don't have. Mm? Uh, so which means that what? That means, soul is the rational factor. That means if there's no rational factor, there's no soul. Mm. So then which means, if a person doesn't have a rational factor, then you can kill him also. So different conceptions people have about the soul. Similarly, about reincarnation. So many people don't accept. But there is concepts of heaven and hell. So then who is it that goes to hell or heaven? So this different concepts are there. People have different understandings, but one needs to have a clear idea. The point is, one needs to have a clear idea of what is the soul. The greater the clarity, the better it is. And we are reading here in these verses in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the soul in pure consciousness is being described. That in the Bhagavad Gita, in the third chapter, at the end of the third chapter, it talks about lust. Like, why is one forced to act against one's will? Right? Sometimes I'm thinking something, I'm deciding something, but and I do something else. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just act the opposite. And Krishna explains it's the contact with the mode of passion, because in these words, the modes are being described. The mode of passion gives rise to these desires, and unfulfilled desire leads to lust. And lust is situated in the senses, in the mind, in the intelligence. But above all, this is the soul. And by the process of following Krishna's injunctions, we can elevate the consciousness to the platform of the soul, where the influence of the three modes of material nature is gone. So the verse is saying, when you're free from the conception of gross and subtle body. It's the false ego that makes me think I'm this body, I'm the mind. But in reality, I am the soul. I have the body, I have a mind, but I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. That's not me. And this comes from pure consciousness. The modes of nature will act, and the body can get tired, mind can get fatigued, but the soul has to be identified. Like the lotus flower is untouched by water. The lotus is always above the surface of water. Same way, if our consciousness is always on the soul platform, then we are not disturbed. If the consciousness is fixed and pure. But we see in this material world, majority of the people are thinking, dharma artha kama, right? Goal is for economic development, have nice children, uh, good bank balance, uh, everything will be nice. But if you see, none, none of, if you look in the past, nobody has ever become happy. So many kinds of sufferings are there. One is Brahmanda Brahmite, one is wandering in different universes, different planets, different activities, different bodies. And I think if I work a little more harder, I'll become happy. But we see all around us, so many people are suffering, dying. Um, uh, Ultimately, sense gratification, on the material platform, engaging our senses in gratifying our own senses, ultimately ends in frustration. And the Bhagavad Gita explains, this. the three modes, the mode of the three gunas, they're referred to as ropes. The ropes are used to bind animals, humans also. So it's very difficult. We are bound by these ropes of the three modes of material nature. Guna pravaha, it's explained, means like a mighty flow, continuously flowing and moving. So the modes are showing their might over all the living entities. Sometimes the mode of goodness is being forced on us, sometimes the mode of passion, sometimes ignorance. Uh, um, Whenever material nature is topic comes, then the major point is the three modes of material nature, right? So these modes are integral part of the material nature, and we are all under the grips, and they are acting on each and every one. Um, and this nice example is given. Sometimes people ask why we are suffering so much. Once a person lost his key and was searching for it under a lamppost, for a long time. And then someone came and was observing, that this person was looking for something, and he came to help and asked, oh, what happened? Oh, I lost my key. Oh, where did you lose your key? Oh, I lost it in the ground somewhere. If you lost it in the ground, the person will say, then why are you searching here under the lamp? Oh, because light is available. So the point is, similarly, people in this world are looking for happiness. And the material world is providing this facility, but whether it is, um, automobiles or air conditioning rooms, these facilities, uh, these material things, they claim to offer us happiness. But so time and again we have experienced that people have all of these things, but still happiness is missing. Uh, and there's no guarantee that these facilities will give happiness all the time. Yeah. So So Krishna explains that all the living entities are looking for happiness, but we are looking in the wrong place, just like this person who is looking for the lost key under the lamp, although he dropped it somewhere else. Because the living entities, we as spirit souls, are spiritual in nature and matter. We are different natures, right? The material world is comprised of these 8 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. So this material nature is binna prakriti ashtada. So the living entity is different from this material nature. Uh, um, we are beyond this matter, and we are mutually exclusive, like oil and water. Are oil and water miscible? Yes? No? No, right? They are not. So same way, matter and spirit don't go together. And when you try to extract happiness, being a living entity, being a spirit soul from this matter, it's very difficult. You can extract sugarcane juice from a sugarcane. That's the nature of the sugarcane to give sweet juice. But you put bitter gourd from that machine, will it taste sweet? No, no, it will give bitter taste. So no matter how hard we try from this material nature, no matter how much wealth and assets we have, in the long run, it won't give us happiness and peace. It won't. So the point is, Prabhupada explains in the Bhagavad Gita also that this material world is dukkhalayam shashvatam. It's a temporary world, a miserable world, and we can see so many earthquakes, tornadoes, people are dying, wars, disease, people are fighting with each other constantly, and always agitated. And there is old age, disease, and death. Uh, uh, but beyond this, there is the real life, the spiritual life. But the living entity is like this animal looking for water in the desert, uh, endeavoring more and more, thinking, the animal endeavors more and more, thinking there is water, ultimately withers and dies. So the point Prabhupada is explaining here in the purport, as I started, the goal. The goal is pure consciousness. And Prabhupada is giving reference to the nectar of devotion. That pure devotional service is without any aspirations and without any desire for material profit. This Bhagavatam is bringing all these anxious souls who are suffering in this material world back home, back to Godhead. Uh, um, and Krishna is more anxious than us to go back. And he appears repeatedly. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to show us how to surrender, how to be attracted to the Supreme Lord through the process of pure devotional service. Yeah. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu gives the definition of pure devotion. It says, Anya Bilashita Sunyam Jnana Karma Janavritam Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Yeah. So one should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, favorably, anukulyena, and without any desire for material profit, or without any philosophical speculation. This is pure bhakti. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compares bhakti to a great ocean. So when he was speaking to Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, it is just like an ocean. So you take a drop of it and you taste it, and you'll understand what is this ocean. Like, if we take a drop of water from the ocean, we can get a taste of the whole ocean. Yeah. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes this small portion of bhakti. Bhakti rasamrita sindhu. So bhakti is devotion, rasa is taste, and amrita means eternal. So there is rasa, there is taste, and that taste is eternal. Yeah. And in this material world, we are serving, we are engaged in serving. There is a relationship of master and servant, but this is a perverted reflection of our real relationship uh, with the master Krishna. So here it is perverted because it's all materially motivated. There's no love involved, right? The servant serves the master because he wants something, and the master serves this, or master is engaging the servant because he wants something. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. But in the spiritual world, Krishna's servant is eternally serving without any payment, without any material motive. Mama janmani ishvara bhaktat bhavatat bhaktir ahituki. Right? Ahituki means there is no material gain. That's why this is without any motive. And what does serving Krishna mean? Serving Krishna. Sarvopadi vinir muktam tat pravartena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Which means bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all the senses, Rishikesha. So what happens when the living entity engages in loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord without any ulterior motive? What happens? Two things happen. One, he's freed from all material designations, and one's senses are purified. By engaging my senses in the service of the Lord, my senses are purified. And the other important point is that bhakti or devotional service means that we should accept those things that are favorable to, and reject that which is unfavorable. The example of Arjuna we read in the Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, Arjuna didn't want to fight because what? Why he didn't want to fight? Because he was thinking what is
Are
favorable.
all there.
Yes, go ahead, Madhu.
Great grandfathers, grandfathers, everybody was there. He does not want to kill them.
Yeah, he was thinking what is favorable for my own senses.
That's true.
Right? If I kill, as you said, rightly pointed out, if I kill my brother, my grandfather, my
What will I get?
nephews, they are on the other side, but they have come to fight with me, I can kill them. I'll get victory by killing them, but what is
What
the
is
profit? What is the use of my becoming victorious if they all die? That was the thought process, right? That means he was thinking in what was good for him, his favor. And what did Krishna want? Krishna wanted him to fight. You must fight. You are a Kshatriya. It is your duty to fight. And then Krishna also told him, well, you are a Kshatriya. If you go away from this battlefield, what will people say? Krishna's friend has run away from the battlefield. So, so then ultimately, eventually, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. So after hearing the Bhagavad Gita, then Krishna asked Arjuna, what do you want to do now? Are you going to fight or not? Yeah, and Arjuna said, my illusion is over. Nashta moha smritir labda pat prasadam madhusudana. Sa karishye vachanam tava. Whatever you say, yes, I'll fight. Well, this is favorable to Krishna. So, point is, this is bhakti, is to do what is favorable to Krishna, not for my own sense gratification, not what is favorable to me, or to my family, or to my country, or to my society. So, no self interest, only Krishna's interest. That is bhakti. And we see by fighting for Krishna, Arjuna became a great devotee. So Krishna says, Bhaktosi me, right? And Krishna says, you are my greatest devotee, a very confidential friend. So, and Arjuna was a Grihastha king engaged in fighting. He knew how to fight. He did not know all the Vedanta philosophy. Still, he became a great devotee of Krishna. Uh, the point here is, or the criteria is to act favorably for Krishna in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Uh, um, and this is also very elaborately described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also. What is the difference between acting for our own senses and for the pleasure of Krishna? Uh, I mentioned earlier about lust, which is kama. So kama and prema. Kama is lust and prema is love. So, in the material world, I may be thinking that I love X, I love Y, but in reality, that is karma. But because the goal is sense gratification, uh, um, because as soon as the opposite person doesn't act according to my wishes or doesn't please me, then I don't want to associate with that person anymore, right? So this is karma. uh, so um, um, atmendriya priti vanche tare kama, and krishnendriya priti vancha tare nam prema, right? So when we try to gratify our own senses, it is lust, and when we try to serve the senses of Krishna, please Krishna, then that is prema. Yeah. So that's love, just like Arjuna did at the end. So many millions of people in this world are trying to approach Krishna, but not everybody can understand Krishna. Uh, uh, so taking shelter of Krishna and his devotees, like Arjuna took shelter of Krishna, uh, and Krishna is teaching, those who take shelter of his devotees are my real devotees, Gopi Bhartur, Pada Kamalam Dasa Dasa Anudasa, right? So in this material world, everybody is trying to be number one, but our mode and philosophy in Krishna consciousness is I am the servant of the servant of the servant. Uh, um, and one cannot understand Krishna or his activities. Atha Sri Krishna Namadi न भवेद घ्राह्यम इंद्रिय सेवन मुको hi jivadav swayameva spurutada. So these material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, and activities, his pastimes. Uh, uh, Only when we render loving devotional service to the Lord by engaging our senses, especially our tongue, in chanting the holy names of the Lord, and taste Krishna's prasadam, uh, we cannot come to the platform of understanding Krishna. And in the purport, Prabhupada is also talking about the idea of Swarupa, or the spiritual form. Uh, um, so, um, um, so you know, yes, initially you can begin with I'm not this, I'm not this, or this is impersonal or Brahman realization. And there comes one level of Swarupa, and then I'm beyond Brahman. Liberated or not, what do I do? Uh, as I was explaining, the goal is serving the Supreme Lord. We are all, Prabhupada gives this reference to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jivera Swarup Hoy Nitera Krishna Das. We are all living entities, our spirit souls are eternal parts and parcels of Krishna. Yeah, right now one may not be serving fully in favorable way, but nevertheless we are all parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. And what does the part do? Serve the whole. The soul serves the super soul. We are all eternal servants, Nitya Krishna Das, eternal servants of Krishna. Uh, 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 Brahma, in the Brahma Samhita, it's explained Brahma is discovering his identity, and initially he was unsuccessful, and then attempts devotional process, chants Tapa, the Gayatri mantra. That mantra revealed to him his Swarupa, his identity as servant of the Lord. Uh, uh, then you first you know that you are a servant of the Lord. Then you understand your position, that I'm eternally the mood, that I'm a maid servant of Krishna. uh, the Prabhupada writes in the first is attitude of the humble servant, and then devotee develops spiritual personality. So Brahma, in the second canto, we discussed Brahma's Svarupa is friendship, Dasya Rasa. Before creation, Brahma had his vision of Lord Vishnu. Then you see, the center of his spiritual abode, and Lord approaches him. Lord shakes his hand. Nice to see you, Brahma. So, uh, um, so um, our process in Krishna consciousness starts with sadhana bhakti. Just like Krishna described to Arjuna, yama and niyama, there are rules for regulating these contaminations, attractions, the passion, regulate and gradually purify. There's bhakti seed, the shravanam and kirtanam. And gradually by hearing and chanting, our attraction for Krishna will grow. Um, uh, Brahma, we have so many distractions. Imagine Brahma. Uh, he was, it was total darkness. So we need to regulate our lives and gradually grow our spiritual consciousness. And this starts with service attitude. Uh, yeah, we have a material body which is painful, a lot of difficulties, and on top is this mind, so difficult. But I bought it, I asked for it. So just the only way is to make best use of this body and the mind. And the best use is in Krishna's service. Yes, the body has its limitations, the mind has its limitations. Uh, body is temporary, it is fallible, makes so many mistakes. Still, uh, I try my best to use it in Krishna's service. And the goal is to serve with purity. And we can bring that purity by devotional service. And as this purity matures in my spiritual life, the Swarup, as the eternal servant of Krishna, becomes a reality, and this illusion is dispelled. Which means, in any circumstances that one is, uh, if the Swarupa is clear, if that identity is clear, then in any circumstances one can serve Krishna. Any circumstances. And this is very important to remember. Uh, so, and um, and one has to have the right attitude and the right mood. So until the proper service attitude is developed, we will not be, that identity will not be revealed. Um, like, this example is given that, for example, I have a car, but it may be $1 million car, but if I don't have but there's no driver, there's no gas, and no one knows how to drive, no keys, what good is it? It's nice to sit around and think, but just because I think doesn't mean I have it. So Prabhupada is out talking about those who go up and those who come down. So one has to connect this to reality, and the reality is the service attitude. So the devotee with the right service attitude makes progress all the way and goes to the spiritual world. Gopi Partur Pada Kamalam Dasa Dasanudasa. So, serving in this mode, engaging in loving devotional service, uh, we can expect to reach to the platform of Swarupa. Without doing devotional service, without engaging in loving devotional service, we cannot expect. It's like, anything in this material world, you see. The other day, me and my wife were looking for a dishwasher. To buy one, you research, then you compare, and then you buy it, then you read the manual, learn how to operate it, right? There's a process. and it works. Same in relationships also. You know, you serve, you have loving exchanges, then there's trust, then the relationship works. Without doing anything, a relationship cannot work. So you follow this process, then automatically results will come. So the point Prabhupada is making here is one should have the right attitude and the process works. If the attitude is wrong, then nothing works. So if one has loving, one engages in the right mood in loving transcendental service to the Lord and his pure devotees, then it works. And devotee becomes free. So we give up, we transcend all these modes, we give up our fears, we'll become fully independent. Mm. Uh, so, and we'll still have our free will to serve or not, but we realize it's better to serve. And we are situated in the proper platform. And devotee uses this to go back home, back to spiritual world. Unlike the Gyanis Prabhupada is talking about in the purport, they have their own selfish goals. Yeah, just a few points I wanted to share. Sorry, this is a very technical verse, and I request senior devotees on the call to please correct and add. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Any corrections, comments?
Nice points, Prabhu. Thank you very much. We always have to control our senses and always have to be very careful what we are doing. And nice points he told us. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
But Krishna gives ideas and then he says, decide what you want to do. That is the point. That one I like very much. He tells Arjuna, go and fight. And he is puzzled. And then he tells all the Bhagavad Gita and everything. Now you decide what you want to do.
Mm.
So,
Yes, that's free will.
free
Otherwise,
will.
it's not love. It's force. As Prabhupada writes in the purport.
Thank you very much. Very nice one.
Hare Krishna, anyone else has any corrections or points to add, please? Okay.
Okay.
If there are no comments or corrections,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
You really explained very nicely about the relation servant. Nobody wants to be servant in this material world. That's a big fact.
That's true.
When I had my office, I was dictating letter to some devotees, I said type your servant, and you can see their face, how they were making the face, that why he's thinking, it's like servant. Nobody wants even that word.
Everybody wants to be boss.
Yeah, so that is the big problem in this material world. That's the biggest ego we all have, and that's why we feel like that. But once we understand we are Atma and we are servant of the Lord and our job is to serve, then only this ego will go away. Otherwise, it will be very hard. Thank you very much, Prabhu. You really did very wonderful job. Hare Krishna.
You're very kind, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for those important points. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya
Patita nam
Vaishnavam
pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo